Begin your path to financial freedom. Gain up to a $7,000 bonus on us. Register and use promo code. Deposit and enjoy a 7% bonus. Available now. Link in the description.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we are going to go over quickly the Bitcoin market. Also, we're going to take a look at the gaps that I believe are going to fill down below. We're going to take a look at the gap we filled. Make sure you stick around for that chart. First, we're going to go into a video that I made in March of 2021, around $50,000, 1 month before it topped out at $64,000. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at the Wyckoff chart that I was showing back then and what the markets are looking at or looking like right now, which everything seems to be the same. The sentiment, the comments in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up. Check out the comments down below and go watch this video I'm about to show you and look at the comments below that also. And you tell me what you think. Are the markets just doing the same old thing? Well, let's get into it. All right, so here's that video, right? So this is from March of 2021, 1 month before we topped out. And I had showed you guys the Wyckoff distribution phase, right? And how it plays out and what it is. And just take a listen real quick and we'll look at where we are now. Now, there is a chance of another spike higher that we could possibly get. And it would still be in Wyckoff distribution. I'll show you that also. But take a look at this video. This is what it would look like if it plays out and we go to that 63 or 64,000 to the up thrust after. So that was from March and we topped out in April, 1 month later, exactly like I was showing on this chart. Now, where we're at now, 1 month ago from today, well, it was about a month ago, I showed you this Wyckoff distribution pattern going to play out. We went higher. I thought 33,000, but nevertheless, this is going to match up with a lot of stuff that I'm going to show you, especially when we get to the gap part of the video, right? So distribution is big money accumulated down here. They got everybody hyped and bullish to buy up here. The problem is the people buying up here don't sell because they think it's going to keep going up. That gives these guys plenty of time to dump, and then every little push up, they continue dumping more and more. If they dumped them all up here, the market would just crash fast, right? They got to dump some, and then they wait for people to get bullish and think it's going to continue up, and then they dump some more. Same type pattern, guys. This is Wyckoff distribution. I do believe this is what's happening right now. Redistribution, actually, because we're still in the middle of the bear market. As you guys know, I have targets between 35 and 9,700. And in the gap video, I'll show you why. Just more things to... There's many reasons I've showed you guys this is going to happen. From the bubble pop pattern, from the false bottom, which I think we had at 15.5, 100 to 120% rally, bear market rally, and then coming down to true bottom. I still believe that to be true. Let's take a look at the possibility of one more spike up. So if we look at this as a rising channel, we have alternate touches from the bottom, top, bottom. If we do get up to here one more time, that would be around 36.6, somewhere in that range, not to be exact. But hitting this, it could even wick above a little bit. But either way, if we get a push up, but as you guys know, I think traditional markets are going to crash and crash hard. There's no other way to put it. The biggest money grab in history that I've been talking about. I do think it's coming. I do think they're going to take your money out of the markets. That's how this works. And Bitcoin has never seen a true traditional bear market. Traditional markets have been in a bull market since the creation of Bitcoin, right? Right after the 2008 economic collapse, Bitcoin was created, so all it's seen was markets going up. Bitcoin will not, I repeat, Bitcoin will not be able to hold up when the markets crash. Does that mean markets dead? No. Gold and silver will dump with the markets. They will recover. It's going to be a slow recovery because I think this is going to be a huge bear market for traditional markets. So anyways, that's what we're looking at there. Here is the gap chart. We're going to start out in the 8-hour. I like the 8-hour. A lot of people say you can't use the 8-hour. You have to use the daily, whatever. We'll take a look at the daily also, and it'll explain why I'm looking at the lows I'm looking at from 35,000 to 97 or 3,500 to 9,700. Make sure you guys smash the likes. Leave your comments when I'm done with this part what you think about the gaps, right? So this gap filled the 35,320. Now you guys can go back and look at my videos. I've had this gap chart for probably about 2 years. I started showing it every now and then. I don't show it on every video, but as you can see, this gap filled, and that lines up with the top of the Wyckoff distribution right here, right? Our up thrust. So where's the next gap? At 20,355. What is a gap? Gaps are made when there's a bunch of orders, right? So the market's closed and there's a bunch of orders sitting here, right? The market's closed here. There's a bunch of orders from the day before, and then the market opens much lower because of pre-trading, right? So it'll open there. Then there's a gap. So there's a bunch of orders sitting there still. Markets have a tendency to fill them orders, and I do believe these will fill. Do they have to? No. This is not financial advice, but do they often, most often fill? Yes, they do. We have this one at 20,355, right? Then we'll probably get a bounce when this gap fills, and people will be screaming that was it. It's it. Bull runs on. But I think that'll break. And we also have a target. And this is what I'm going to show you. So you can see, here's where we're at now. If we go below here, our next gap is, and again, I'll look at this in the daily also. And then we'll take a look at the falling wedge. In the macro. But as you can see, there's your gap at 11.2. Remember, this is the 8-hour. We'll take a look at the daily. Here's your 9,700 gap right here, right? It closed here, opened here, left a gap. Now let's go to the 7,600 gap, right? That's right here. You see this gap? And then we have our big gap at 3,700, and this is way back from February 2019, right there. Big gap. Now, for those of you that think you can only use the daily, that would still get us to the 9,700 range, and let me show you why. So here's the daily chart, right? And here's our gap. Well, let's take a look from where we're at now, so you guys know that we haven't filled it yet. So do you see there's nothing below here? So we look at that 11.2, right? Is there still a gap at 11.2 on the daily? Yes, there is, right here. Let me zoom in so you can see it. There's still a gap here at 11.2. Is there one at 9,700? Yes, big gap right here. Right there, right? So even if you use the daily, there's still a big gap at 9,700 I think will fill. As you guys know, I've called 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I said our true bottom would be in 2023, September, October. Whoa, that was 2 years. If I was off by a couple months, big freaking deal. We still have a new low coming, in my opinion. 97 on the daily, right? And then, like I said, on the 8-hour chart, we go all the way down to 3,500. But for those of you that think you can only look for gaps on a daily, here you are. There's a big gap right here at 9,700. That is why my target for the true bottom has been and still is $3,500 to $9,700 for Bitcoin. And I do believe that the traditional markets are going to be a big part of that. And as you guys know, I think BNB, which is Binance's coin, is going to collapse, and it's going to collapse hard once we break that 202 level. Now let's look at the falling wedge. So markets, people always say you move your lines, you blah blah blah. Well, that's what you do when you're tracking markets, right? So we had a 5-wave count, and I told you if it broke this low here, that 5-wave count was invalid. It's invalid, but we've also had this ABCDE pattern, right? If this was the top here, we're still looking for our E wave down between 37 and 9,700, right? But what if we come back up? You can see these red lines here looking at a rising broadening wedge. If this is the case and we come up to retest this wedge again, that also brings us to that 36. So that's why I want to say it is possible that we go back up as high as 36.6, somewhere in that range, retest this before coming down, and then we can take a measured move of the breakdown from this wedge, depending on where, if, when, and where it breaks down. That would get us somewhere right around our old low, which again, people will probably call a double bottom. We'll probably get a bounce there. Nevertheless, I think we will break that low, no matter how swiftly. But again, I do believe that the 4-year cycle theory, you know, you can say Bitcoin's still in a 4-year cycle, right? Every 4 years, it, you know, hits a low and a high. Doesn't have to hit a new all-time high. Remember, they used to say that on the 4-year cycle, Bitcoin would never break its last all-time high, which was 20,000, which we broke. So they're still pushing the narrative that the new all-time highs are here. This time is different, and I know that's a joke and a meme, but this time is different in my opinion. I don't believe Bitcoin's not going to stop its 4-year cycle, right? It's going to have halvings, and it's going to pump probably in a halving. But I don't believe this time we're going to see a new all-time high. Of course, like I said, we broke our 20,000 high from our last cycle on the way down. That invalidates the whole new all-time highs every 4 years, in my opinion. Will there be lows and highs every 4 years? Yes. Most likely that'll continue, right? There's a lot of things that happen every 4 years. But does it have to reach a new all-time high? No. Does that mean Bitcoin's dead? No. What that means is we're just not going to see a new all-time high. If this does happen, right, if I'm correct here and we do have this dump for a true bottom, there's going to be a lot of confidence lost in the market. And if you'll look at every other bubble pop in history, once the true bubble pops and hits its true bottom, it takes a very long time. 10 years, I think Amazon took 10 years. Sony, Nintendo, they're over 20 years and they still haven't reached their all-time high. They've been going up since then, but they didn't just shoot straight up, right? Because confidence is lost, and then there's a ton of accumulation, and it's just a slow grind all the way to the upside. So if this does get to these bottoms, like I believe they will be a huge buying opportunity, but I don't believe it's going to shoot straight back up, right? I think it'll be a long time before we see these highs again. But if you get in down here, you're fine. If you've been dollar cost averaging up here and you're up in these levels, it'll probably be a very long time before you see your money, if I'm correct. So be careful out there. If you're trading, make sure you use stop losses. Smash those thumbs up. Again, leave your comments in the comment section down below. Remember, guys, markets and sentiment. This is just something I want to put out there real quick. So people think that sentiment leads the market. The market leads sentiment. Think about that. Let me know what you think. I'm out, guys. Have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next one. I apologize for the video I put out earlier. Didn't have any volume. I had to redo it. One of those days. Anyways, take it easy, guys.